My name is Zack Woodall, and I will be talking about the nervous system today. And so first I have pictured here is a human brain. And the first thing I'd like to do is go through the lobes. The one I have color-coded in blue is the frontal lobe. And the function of the frontal lobe is it controls conscious thought and decision-making. And then in red is the parietal lobe, which controls speech, cognition, and reading. And green is the occipital lobe, which is connected to your eyes and controls your vision and what you see. The temporal lobe controls your hearing and smell. And then the cerebellum down here that I colored in white, really this back part here, that I've colored in white is the cerebellum, and it helps with balance. And then down here I have pictured a nerve cell, a neuron, and I've pointed to the location of the nucleus and one of the dendrites. The nucleus, of course, is just the control center of the cell. The dendrites receive information from other nerve cells, and then you can't see it very well in this picture, but right here is kind of the axon, which is just a longer fiber of the nerve cell that sends out information, and it is usually wrapped in what is called a myelin sheath, and that just helps speed up the process of sending information. Okay. And then the next thing I want to look at is a sagittal cut of the brain. So this is right down the middle from the side. And you can see the corpus callosum really good in the brain here. It's just like a little X-shaped part of the brain, and it is it's called the area of decussation. It is the part where information swaps from one side of the brain to the other, so left to right or right to left. And then really kind of hard to see here, tiny, the hypothalamus and thalamus. The thalamus controls the direction of signals in the brain, like which way they go, and just kind of keeps them on track. The hypothalamus controls homeostasis functions, so like temperature control of the body and different things like that. The things that I've outlined here, the first one is the pons. It's labeled here as the brainstem, but you can break that up into the pons and medulla. And the pons is the circle here, and the medulla is the bottom part here. They help with involuntary functions like breathing and blinking. Also, I like to differentiate between white and gray matter. The white matter makes up 60% of the brain, and it mostly receives sensory information from the peripheral nervous system, the outer nerves. It receives that information. And then the other 40% of the brain is made up by gray matter, and that sends out information to the peripheral nervous system. And you can see that kind of here. The gray matter would be more of what's like the inner, inside, the lighter colors, and then the white is kind of the more pinkish. I think that's all I have to say about that.
That was awesome. That is really hard anatomy, and you just were able to talk all the way through it. That's very advanced. I'm super impressed. Let's see. I opened some questions that I think maybe have your super nice for nervous system. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mentioned something. You guys have seen those questions, right?
Yes.
I think. Okay. So I had mentioned just how some dogs, and cats too, really all animals, can get a condition where one of their discs, and this gets more to spinal cord, spinal anatomy, but where one of the discs between the vertebrae, it happens to people too, where one of the discs kind of pops actually into the canal and starts to squish the spinal cord. And we see that with the dog or the patient when that vertebral disc kind of pushes into the spinal cord.
Yeah, I was thinking either, like, depending on how severe it is, like, if it's just pushing on it a little, they may just have, like, numbness, maybe, like, not being able to feel things in, like, whatever part of the body that, or if it's, like, really bad, maybe they're, like, fully paralyzed, like, their back hind legs, like, they can't feel anything.
Yeah, really good job. So that's that. Look for like the dachshunds that come in typically have a lot of back issues, and we always do neurological assessments on them to make sure they can move their back legs or they can even feel their back leg. But you did an awesome job with that presentation. Did you pick the nervous system, or were you guys assigned it, or?
I think I picked it, yeah.
Is there why did you pick the nervous system?
I don't know, it's really complicated, and I mean, it helps us move and feel things, so I think that's pretty interesting. And
Cool.
we don't really know a lot about the brain.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, we don't really know, like, a lot about our brains because, like, it's like an organ trying to understand itself because we think with our brains.
That's very true. Do you want to be a neurologist now?
I'm not really sure what I want to be. I plan on majoring in biology in college. I'm a senior, but yeah, I haven't really decided yet.